The tray hit the table. My dish, still warm, slid an inch forward. Cambria didn't even look. Mom, not now, she snapped, reaching across me for her mimosa. Her elbow caught the edge of Grant's cup. The coffee spilled, hot,
We're here together.
sharp, all over my wrist. I sucked in air through my teeth. No sound, no scream, just the heat crawling under my skin. Cambria gasped, but only half turned. God, you're always in the way. Laughter at the other end of the table. Grant's sister whispered something to his mother. The mother smiled tight, practiced. I grabbed a napkin, dabbed once, pressed, counted to 4. The linen clung to my skin, already darkening. Across from me, a man in a navy suit. I think his name was Julian, raised his glass. To the Hollowell Union, may it bring grace, order, and elevation. I glanced at my name card. Not even my name. Just +1. Bride's mother, Grant's mother. Hers said matriarch in gold foil. The stain on my wrist throbbed. I folded the napkin, placed it on the empty plate I'd brought, and slid both aside. No one noticed. Cambria posed for a photo, smiling wide. Her hand rested lightly on Grant's chest. He didn't look at me once. I reached for the name card, folded it once, then again. The edges lined up neatly. I slipped it into the inside pocket of my coat. The waiter poured more coffee. I held up my hand. No, thank you. The pain had dulled. My fingers were stiff but steady. I stared down at the red mark. My jaw locked. I didn't move. Someone at the table joked about family being decorative, not directive. More laughter. I pushed my chair back. Quietly. No one looked. In the hallway, I passed a mirror. The napkin had left a faint imprint on my wrist. It looked like a line drawn in heat. I didn't cry. I didn't speak. I walked outside into the wind and let the door close behind me. Inside, they kept toasting. I drove home without the radio. No calls, no messages. That night I woke gasping, but not from pain. From the sound of a voice I hadn't heard in years. Go to his house. At dawn. Before it's too late. I brought the list. Handwritten. Folded twice. Edges aligned. Florist caterer music confirmations. I can call. Cambria snatched her phone off the hallway table. We've got it. I kept my voice even. Just thought I could. She didn't look up. Mom, just be present. Quietly. The door clicked shut. I hadn't finished the sentence. My hand hovered near the knob. Then dropped. Inside, muffled laughter. Grant's voice. His mother's. I turned to leave. A beat passed. A voice floated out, casual, clear. We just need her name on the deed and we're set. Something settled in my chest. Not anger, not yet. I walked to the car. No music, just tires on gravel. At the grocery store, I bought coffee. Plain, no creamer. My husband used to drink it that way. At home, I set the cup down. Didn't drink. My hand still stung. The skin had darkened where the coffee hit. I sat at the table. The folded name card still in my coat pocket. I didn't take it out. Just touched it. The list I'd made slid off the counter with the breeze. I didn't move to catch it. By midnight, I lay in bed, eyes wide. The hallway light hummed. The clock blinked. When sleep came, it came fast. No dreams at first. Then a voice. Firm. Female. Familiar. Go to his house. At dawn. Before it's too late. I sat up, heart pounding. The hallway light flickered once. The room smelled like coffee. But I hadn't brewed any. I stood. Pulled on my coat. Checked the time. 4:22. The house was silent. The driveway darker than usual. I started the engine. Didn't know what I'd find. But I knew I'd look. I parked across the street. Killed the engine. 5:02 a.m. No lights on the porch, but the kitchen glowed. I stayed in the car. Watched. Waited. Then movement. Grant, barefoot, relaxed, laughing. Across from him, a woman in a pale robe, blonde, young, legs crossed, coffee in hand, not Cambria. He poured her more, touched her wrist, said something low. She leaned in, smiled. My breath stayed even. My hands stayed on my lap, but my fingers curled slow and deliberate. One knuckle cracked. On the counter behind them, something caught the light. A red folder. I squinted. The lettering was bold. Hollowell Holdings. Property transfer drafts. They didn't see me. The woman stood, kissed his cheek, walked out of view. Grant checked his phone, smirked, reached for a pen. My fingers hovered over the ignition, then shifted, reached for my phone instead. I zoomed in, snapped 2 photos through the windshield. Not great, but clear enough. He moved toward the hallway. I waited. Counted to 20. No one came back. I stepped out, closed the car door without sound, walked to the side of the house. Gravel underfoot, morning fog still low. The curtains in the den swayed. A window was cracked open. I stood beneath it. Inside, I heard water running, a drawer closing, a faint clink of porcelain. No voices. I turned the corner, paused by the trash bins. The kitchen light was still on. 2 cups on the table, 1 lipstick stained. I didn't knock. I waited until the light turned off, until footsteps faded, until I was sure the kitchen was empty. Then I reached for the side gate, pushed it open an inch, enough to see what else they might have left behind. I stepped inside. The hallway was dark, carpeted, cold. To the left, a guest bathroom. I flicked the light once, closed the door behind me. No one followed. I flushed for show, turned the faucet, waited. Then I saw it. The cabinet under the sink. Crooked, 1 hinge loose, not shut all the way. I knelt, opened it. A plastic tray, 2 folders, no labels, just dust and corners bent from use. I pulled the first. Bills, notes, the second thicker, glossier paper, signatures, loan forms. I flipped through fast, scanned dates, bank seals. Then I froze. Cambria's name, full, signed, twice, guarantor, joint liability, starting balance $385,000, repayment to begin June 11th. The wedding was set for June 10th. I didn't breathe. Hands shaking, I took photos, page by page, flash off, quiet, steady. Each click steadied me more. By the last page, my hands no longer shook. I closed the folder, put everything back the way I found it, washed my hands for sound, dried them slowly. When I opened the door, the house was still quiet. I walked out the way I came in, no footsteps behind me. At the car, I sat for a long minute. The engine off. The street still empty. Then I pulled out my phone again. Scrolled. My husband's lawyer, last contact 6 years ago. I hit call. The line rang once. Then again. Then a voice. "This is Charles Reddick." I didn't speak yet, just listened to the hum of his breath, alive and real. Finally, "Charles." "It's Marlon. I need to ask you something." He didn't pause. "Go ahead." I looked down at my wrist. The coffee burn was fading, but something deeper had taken its place. I shifted the phone to my other hand, gripped tighter. "Are the deed papers still under my name?" He cleared his throat. "They are." "Why?" I didn't answer. I didn't have to. I started the engine. Headed home. The photos sat on my phone. Sharp, legal, unmistakable. I made a copy and sent it to myself, just in case. At the next red light, I started making a list. I walked in before the office even opened. Charles unlocked the door himself. No small talk, just waved me in. We sat. He pulled the file without asking. Thick, dated, familiar seal. He opened it flat on the desk. Pointed. Your husband filed the amendment 4 months before he passed. This clause here, I leaned in. Read every word. It wasn't complex. I owned the house, entirely. No transfer, no joint claim, no inheritance clause, just my name. I breathed once deep, then again. He kept talking. The original deed had survivorship for Cambria. He removed it, said you'd know why. I reached out. My fingers brushed the edge of the bookshelf behind him. Dusted wood, smooth grain. I let my hand rest there while he flipped one more page. There's something else. He slid a small envelope across the table, cream-colored, unopened, my name on the front, in my husband's handwriting. Charles said he asked me to hold it, said to give it to you only if you ever felt erased. I didn't touch it right away, just stared. That word, erased, not hurt, not betrayed, erased. I folded the file shut, placed both hands on top of it. Firm. I'll take a copy, I said. He nodded. Of course. Outside, the sky had turned. Clouds, low light, dull. I held the documents close to my chest as I walked back to the car. At home, I placed the envelope on the counter, next to the coffee pot. I didn't open it. I brewed a fresh pot. No sugar, no cream. Sat down, slid the envelope under the mug. Let the weight of the ceramic hold it there. The folder rested beside it. Still warm from my hands, I opened it. Read everything again. Twice. When I was done, I placed a blank sheet on top. Wrote one word. Copy. Tomorrow, I'd need more. But tonight, I just watched the steam rise. I showed up early. Smiled first. Let Cambria twirl in lace hold-up veils, ask for opinions she'd never take. I nodded, said lovely, said, that suits you. I didn't flinch when Grant's mother arrived late and said, oh, you're here. Just smiled again. Of course. Wouldn't miss it. At the tasting, I complimented the rosemary chicken. She said she hated rosemary. I said, then let's cut it. They laughed. I laughed once too. Brief. My mouth moved. My eyes didn't. My coffee stayed warm. I never drank it. At the centerpiece table, I let Cambria rearrange everything I touched. Said nothing. Watched her beam. Watched her need approval that wasn't mine. Grant leaned over once. Whispered something. She nodded. I saw his hand on her back, guiding, not holding. Later, while she posed for a photo, he set his phone on the table. I glanced once. Just enough. A message preview blinked across the screen. She doesn't know. We're moving everything after the honeymoon. My fingers didn't twitch. My expression didn't shift. I just blinked once. Cambria walked back with champagne. She kissed his cheek. He looked at her not with love, but pride. The pride of someone who thinks he's playing 3 moves ahead. I held the coffee again. Still warm. Still untouched. At home, I opened my drawer, took out the red folder, read every page. Then I drove to the supply store, bought a second one. Same shade. One for them, one for me. The next morning, I placed the copy of the deed into the second folder. Sealed it. Labeled it with a single word reception. The original stayed in my drawer. That night, Cambria called to ask if I could finalize the seating chart. Said, you're good at organizing, Mom. I said I'd handle it. She thanked me. Called me Marlin instead of Mom before hanging up. I didn't correct her. Just printed the list. Marked each table in red ink. Then I started filling the second folder. I drove downtown. Parked 2 blocks from the building. Walked in without a folder. The receptionist remembered my name. Offered coffee. I declined. Inside the conference room, the notary waited. The title agent arrived minutes later. She spoke clearly, avoided small talk. I appreciated that. We reviewed the documents twice. I asked every question. listened to every answer. Then I nodded. Proceed. The house was placed into a revocable trust. Ownership paused. Access limited. Any attempt to alter or transfer flagged and frozen. A clause added for protection. Trigger freeze if activity matches patterns of undue influence. I signed with my left hand. My right stayed on the key in my coat pocket. I didn't smile when it was done, just thanked them. Took my copy. Walked back to the car. In the parking lot, my phone buzzed. A system alert. Deed access attempt failed. Unverified IP. Username Cambria.wedding. I let the screen dim. Locked the phone. Started the engine. At home, I placed the signed trust inside the original red folder. I didn't seal it yet. Just left it open on the table. Upstairs, I opened my closet. Pulled out a neutral dress. No print, no shimmer. Laid it flat on the bed. Checked the seams. Empty. No lipstick, no jewelry, no distractions. Then I stood at the window. Watched the street. No movement. Back downstairs, I brewed coffee. Drank it slowly this time. Each sip warm, bitter, grounded. I rinsed the cup, dried it. Set it down beside the folder. Tomorrow was rehearsal dinner. Tonight, I would rest. For the first time in days, I slept through the night. I arrived on time, not early, not late. Everyone smiled tighter than usual. Cambria air-kissed my cheek. Her voice was sweet and flat. "Mom, you clean up nice." I said thank you. Sat where they placed me far end near the waitstaff entrance. I kept the folder under my coat. Red crisp, unbent. They served salmon. Grant made a joke about prenups. Laughter circled the table. I didn't join. My coffee came cold. I didn't send it back. Just asked for fresh. They toasted with champagne. The clinking echoed too long. Cambria stood glass in hand. To families old and new. I stood before she could sit down. Walked forward, calm. Voices quieted. Chairs shifted. Someone cleared their throat. I placed the red folder on the center of the table. Flat. Deliberate. Then I spoke. The wedding is off. No one moved. I continued. The house is no longer available. It's under trust control. Frozen by my terms. Gasps. A knife hit the floor. Someone muttered my name. I didn't look at anyone directly. And I've withdrawn everything tied to my accounts. Every transfer. Every name. Every favor disguised as love. Silence. I reached for the coffee pot. Poured into the nearest cup. No shaking. No hesitation. Inside the folder, if they chose to look, was the deed, the loan, Cambria's signature. Withdrawal logs from my savings, every cent, every quiet theft. Grant's face had gone pale. Cambria's mouth hung open. No one stood up. I took one sip. Hot, bold. Then I nodded once. I didn't wait for questions. Didn't need applause. I walked out. Alone. The dress I bought for the ceremony stayed home, still on the hanger, untouched, unworn, and perfectly mine. I got home before 9, hung up my coat, took off my shoes, set my bag down, waited. No knock, no phone call, not even a message. The folder sat on the table still slightly warm where my palm had pressed it hours ago. I didn't move it. I sat, turned on the lamp, let the quiet stretch. By midnight, the silence had weight. I stood, opened the drawer beside the stove, pulled out the envelope, still sealed, my name on the front, his handwriting. I sat again, wiped my glasses, peeled the flap open, slow, careful. The paper inside was yellowing at the fold. His words ran straight across the page, steady, clean. Marlene, if she turns on you, close the door. Some lessons must be learned in the cold. I trust you'll know when it's time. Don't open this letter unless it already happened. And if you did, Then you've already survived it. W. My hand trembled once. Just once. But my breath didn't change. I folded the letter, pressed the crease flat, locked it in the drawer. Outside the porch, light buzzed. Still no car, still no knock. I brewed coffee. Let it drip slow, steady. The kitchen flooded with light as morning broke through the windows. Steam curled above the mug. No one came. I didn't expect them to. I poured a second cup, left it across the table, untouched. I boiled the water, measured the grounds, let it steep. No rush, no noise. Just the soft hum of morning. Sunlight pressed against the windows, slow and warm. I set the mug on the table, the same one from that day. The same one I didn't drink from. I poured. The first drop landed center. No splash, no stain. Steam curled upward. I watched it, sat down, lifted the mug, no tremble. I took a sip, held it, swallowed, exhaled one slow. My hand stayed steady. My eyes closed halfway. On the chair across from me, faced just slightly out of place, sat a small square of cardstock. From the brunch, the one that said, +1 bride's mother. The original words had been scratched out. In its place, written in bold ink, one word, enough. I didn't smile, didn't need to. The second sip tasted stronger. Outside, the world moved on. Inside, nothing moved at all.